Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the Robidoux live stream here on July 31st. Welcome to July here. We do have some exciting news here today for some stuff we're going to talk about here at the Row, as well as we're going to talk a little bit about some more of the Robidoux family, especially some of them some people don't necessarily know a ton about. So without further ado, we do want to talk a little bit about what's going on here at the Row. As you guys do know, currently we are having a or we're working with Cat Designs here at the Row. I'm going to do some of their great items here at the museum, and they are still running their special until the end of July, which is today. Where if you purchase a Ruby Row membership, you will get 10% off your entire purchase of their products. I know my wife and I just recently bought some really cool bookmarks from them. But we do here at the museum have some rings and some necklaces, including along with that, we also have these really cool tic tac boards that are great for travel in case you have kids or grandkids with you, and you're gonna take any of these kind of right before school year trips that we hear people talk about. So along with that, here at the Row, we are of course still open. We've been open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesdays through Saturdays, so definitely come down and see us. I'm gonna check out some of the exhibits that we do have here. We are in the process of planning a few events over the next couple coming in the next couple months. So we do hope to roll those out and get you guys some information about what's coming out, what we're going to be doing with those, as well as what events we're going to be holding. A couple of ones that we've looked into already are going to be quite exciting. We're looking forward to those. We will also have some great, exciting news about the gift shop here coming in this upcoming week. So keep an eye out for next week. We should have a bunch of information going up, as well as something special for next week's live stream here of some potentially some different items that are going to be here at the Row. Along with that, we do thank you so much for joining us here today. Today we are going to be talking about some more of Joseph Robidoux's family. Today we're going to be talking about Antoine and Louis Robidoux. Now, Antoine and Louis Robidoux were Joseph Robidoux's younger brothers. Antoine being the fourth of the six sons, and Louis being I believe, third or second. Both of them were worked with their brother while he was in business, and also did work for their father. But these two of these men really made a huge difference on the impact of the United States, both in the American Southwest and in the California region. So we're going to start by talking about Antoine, who's probably the less known one and maybe not slightly less accomplished. When we're talking with these brothers, Robidoux, slightly less accomplished is still a pretty accomplished man. So when he was young, he did work in the fur trading company just as long with all of his brothers and all of his father. Antoine did speak English, French, and Spanish, and really helped working westward. In 1824, though, he did join a party that headed out to the Unita Basin. Where the Unita Basin is it is in the uh, it, it's kind of in the Colorado Plateau region, um, out west by kind of Wyoming in that area. He was stayed there for a while, and then he eventually established a permanent residence in Santa Fe around 1828, where he did marry his wife, Caramel Benitez, who was actually the daughter of a Spanish captain. Um, they adopted a young lady who ended up marrying Isidore Barada. And Isidore Barada is a semi well-known person amongst the area of that area, and actually ended up going to before the Missouri Supreme Court at one point. He and his brother Louis were actually given the right to have Mexican citizenship, which was pretty uncommon at that point. And so they were able to freely trade with all of the people within the Mexican territory as well without having to pay any tariffs or having any restrictions on their licensure, which allowed him also to trap and trade furs throughout the Ute counties, including western Colorado and eastern Utah. Antoine was known to be a very prominent citizen of Santa Fe, and was actually what was known as the first non-Mexican alcacede, and the alcacede was a magistrate of the area. He was the very first that was not of Mexican descent at that point. He also went on to help establish a couple other forts, including helping to rebuild a fort that later became known as Fort Robidoux. And through his years, he worked with different pioneers such as Miles Goodyear and Kit Carson. One of the most famous things that he did do is there's actually an engraving on a rock in Westwater Canyon in Utah that says basically Antoine Robidoux passed through here in 1837 to establish a trading post at either the Green or the Watet River. Um, Unfortunately, the translation for the second of the two rivers makes it difficult because there it could either be White, which there is a river in Utah named White, and there's also a river in Utah known as the Unita, which is also known as the Winty, both of which he could have been going to set up a trade force with. So his writings is still there. It's preserved. It has been preserved for many years. And then what actually happened later in his life is he actually later, after all this, he actually was involved with the Mexican-American War and helped fight at the Battle of San Pasqual, and then later passed away at the age of 65 in St. Joseph, Missouri. And now we're going to jump to his younger brother, Louis. Louis Robidoux may have been even more influential than even his brother, Antoine. Louis was, like I said, the younger brother of all the Robidoux brothers, and he was a fur trader just along the same way as the rest of them. Later, though, he did actually travel to California rather than the New Mexico region. He met up with a number of traders and ranchers out there and started working around what is now Riverside, California. He moved around the area, did a lot of trade, and kind of helped become one of the cornerstones of the foundation of Santa Bernardino County and Riverside, California. He then later went on to participate in the U.S. Mexican War. Um, he calls himself a prisoner of war, but we haven't found evidence that he was a prisoner of war. And he spent a lot of time with the fighting in there. After the war, he did get married, um, and was basically a member of one of his wife, Guadalupe Garcia, was one of the aristocratic families of the New Mexico region, and they had about 9 kids. He then later became the one of the first 3 supervisors of the entire San Bernardino County, and built the first grist mill and operated a winery in the area. The city of Robidoux, and there's a mountain called Mount Robidoux, are all both named after Louis Robidoux. And kind of he was the founder of that whole region, which is now part of Riverside in California. So that was just a little bit about the other 2 of the other Robidoux brothers, other than Joseph. As I said, they had some major influence as well on trade routes. Louis was out in California well before the gold rush occurred, and so a lot of people would trade with a Robidoux when they arrived back around California after being in St. Joe and trading with Robidouxs here in St. Joe. His other brother Antoine did head south and spent a lot of time in the Santa Fe region, which a lot of people who were traveling to the Santa Fe Trail would have the same kind of experience with the Robidoux family there as well, where they would be traveling south and they would trade with the Robidoux here in St. Joseph or in Kansas City region, and then head south to Santa Fe, and they would meet another Robidoux. Next week, we will talk about a couple more Robidouxs, and definitely come back and hear some of those. And like I said, next week we'll also have some great announcements for the gift shop, as well as some really cool stuff that we're doing here in the museum, and some hopefully we'll have a little bit more information for you on some of those new activities that we're planning here at the Row. We hope to see you back here next week. And thanks so much for joining us today. Like I said before, please do come see us here at the Row. We'd love to have you come swing by, and we are open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. And then next week, of course, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we'd love to see you. If you have any kiddos heading out for the school year, come see us and leave them a little bit of history before they start off with the craziness of school this year. So we thank you so much for joining us today, and you guys have a wonderful day.